En, två, tre, fyra!
Looking for a quirky, eccentric film to watch? I think I got just the film for you. Welcome back to my channel, travelers. Filmwego here. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Today I want to share with you a hidden, underrated gem called Sound of Noise, a film that I honestly haven't heard anyone talking about. I randomly came across this film in a secondhand DVD store a while back, and I have to say, what a pleasant and surprising found it was. This is one of the funniest films I've seen in a long while, and I'm not exaggerating here. Sound of Noise is a Swedish-French crime comedy directed by Simonsson and Johannes Stjärne Nilsson. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your names wrong, and it is one of the more unique films I've seen in recent years. I'm excited to share this offbeat, outlandish film with you all, as I believe more people should check this film out. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's first start with a brief synopsis. A tone-deaf police officer who comes from a renowned family of musicians is forced to track down a group of drummers who are frustrated with the modern music landscape and plan to revive music in an innovative way through a four-piece show, turning 4 arbitrary locations around the city into an avant-garde musical art piece. Seriously, the synopsis is not doing the film justice on how quirky this film actually is, and has to be seen to be understood. Sound of Noise opens with a terrific scene that perfectly sets the tone for what's to come. The film begins on a highway with a drummer playing in a van, attempting to make a musical piece, while the driver utilizes its surrounding sound as part of its musical composition. We get the sound of shifting gear stick, the drift of the tires, the bumps on the roads, the signaling of a turn, the engine revving. All these are incorporated and used to formulate a piece of music, and honestly, it sounds fire. As the film progresses, each musical set piece gets more outrageous and absurd, and somehow it finds a way to up itself with the complexity of its composition and instrumentation. I'll show you a brief clip of just what I mean. The rest I'll leave up to you to discover and experience on your own. I also love the aspect of how whenever the cop arrives at the crime scene and notices something is used by the musician as part of the musical composition, whether it be an item, thing, or even a person, the cop is unable to perceive the sound of the item as it is incorporated into part of the musical piece, and it is hilarious. There's also a really neat scene where we watch the drummers crash an orchestra performance. I love the sudden abrupt shift of classical music to the abrasive and industrious noise, adding a nice comedic touch to the scene and showing us how music is subjective and everyone's idea of what constitutes a good piece of music can be different. The film also utilizes and mixes in some really cool and simplistic little animations that I thought was a nice touch and added to the overall eccentric tone of the film. I also really liked the main lead. I thought he did a great job playing a tone-deaf character who yearns to experience the beauty of music. Throughout the film, he expresses how much he loathes and hates music, constantly stating how he wishes to be left in silence, but deep down, through small gestures alone, you can see him hiding behind a layer of jealousy, wanting to be like his family, who are all renowned musicians. You can see him actually wanting to enjoy music, but to no avail, as he's unable to perceive the different pitches that encompasses a piece of music. Throughout the film, he's able to express his frustration just through his eyes, as he constantly closely observes the notes that are being played on instruments, the sounds of the metronome, or even just listening to his surroundings, but not being able to hear the sound of any of it. So yeah, I thought the main lead was great playing a character who hides behind a facade of anger, when deep down, he just wants to enjoy music like all of us. I thought the drummers were also just as great, adding a perfect amount of goofiness to the film. They don't really have much of a purpose other than being musical terrorists, and honestly, I was fine with that. All of the drummers bring immense amount of energy to every musical act, and I constantly found myself choking with laughter. They are the ones who help deliver the film's eccentric and whimsical energy, and they are a joy to watch. Although I had an absolute blast watching this film, I did find the last performance act from the musical terrorists to be a slight letdown. When compared to the first 3 grandiose performance, it felt a little too simple with the grand scheme they were going for, and the musical composition didn't sound as pleasing to the ear. However, I love the aspect where at the end of the film, our main character, which I'm not going to spoil anything, was able to find a way to enjoy music despite being tone deaf. I found that to be really neat, as he finally comes to accept the terms that he doesn't hate music. All he had to do was learn to appreciate music from another aspect, and I really like that. I don't have many bad things to say about this film, as honestly it is one of the more enjoyable films I've seen in a while. I guess if I had to pick something that I thought could have elevated the film even more was the cinematography. The cinematography for this film felt a little too clean and simple. I thought it could have helped played into the overall quirkiness more or helped add more depth to the shots. But yeah, in the end, I thought this was a very fun film. So here's why you should watch Sound of Noise. It is an eccentric, outlandish film, laced with vigorous energy throughout, that'll satisfy your taste buds even if you're not a musical file. You don't need to know anything about music. All you need going in is to love watching films, enjoy listening to music, and enjoy having a great laugh. If you tick the box for all 3, I genuinely believe you will have a great time watching this film, cause I know I did. Travelers, if you're able to come across this film, do give it a watch, as I believe it is an underrated gem that more people should be talking about. If you have seen the film, let me know what you think of it in the comments. Would love to hear your thoughts. If you haven't seen it, well, I hope I was able to give you a suggestion for your next watch. So yeah, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching it, and I hope to share more interesting films I've seen next time. Have you seen The Sound of Noise? Do you plan to see it? If you did, what did you think of it? Comment below and let me know, and as always, subscribe for your next travel ticket.